Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. How are you doing?
Hi, teacher.
Hello. Hello. Hello, everybody. How are you doing today?
I'm very well, thanks. And you?
I'm very well as well. Thank you very much. Yeah, that was great. That's a great thing to say. Okay, guys. So let's start with the class. Let me check the chat a little bit. Hello, Mary. How are you doing? Okay. Very good. Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. How was your morning? How was your morning? Did you have a nice morning?
Yes.
That's good to hear. Lots of classes? A lot of classes? Yes. I see.
Yes. Yes.
I see. I see. Just to remember a little bit, what are you guys studying? Well, when you introduce yourselves at the beginning of the course, you told me what you were studying. But anyway, let's hear it again. So, what are some of the majors? Remember that career when you're working, major when you are studying, right? What are some of your majors? Like, for example, Eric, what is your major? Or Junior, what is your major? William, everybody, let's speak. What are your majors?
My major is architecture.
Okay, architecture. Tough career. Hello, William. Yeah, architecture. That's gonna be a tough one, right? No, difícil, probably, right? Who else? What are you studying, guys?
My major is
Psychology? That's
Yes.
very, very interesting, right? Very interesting. Psychology, originally the study of the soul, you know, psyche, in ancient, in its ancient understanding, meant soul, right? No significaba tanto mente, sino alma en principio, ¿no? La ciencia del alma, si se quiere, etimológicamente, por supuesto, ¿no? Originally, that's right, very good. What else are you studying?
I am studying social communication.
Social communication. Yeah, that's a necessary one, right? Yeah, that's right. Society needs to communicate properly, so it's a big challenge there. But yeah, nice to hear. Nice to hear. Thank you, Juliana. Okay, good. And this just gives me a little bit of an idea of what your different interests may be. And I want to give you a tip. Whatever interests you, well, you have lots of possibilities of learning English through that. Like, for example, and not just what you study, but the things you like. If you like music, well, I don't know, follow a YouTube channel about music. If you are interested in fashion, then watch YouTube channels about fashion. Follow YouTubers that speak about fashion, for example. But do that in English, because with the English that you have, there's a lot you can understand. You're on intermediate 3, right? So from now on, you can only get better and better, but you need a lot of exposure to the language. So you're going to be understanding a lot of the bases, and next words that come up, I mean new words that come up during those videos or whatever, well, you're going to be gathering them, and not just the words, the expressions, the way people say things, all of that becomes important. But it's a very good idea, if you want to improve your English, to make a focus on the things that are interesting to you. Of course, in this class, I mean, we have 30 plus people on the in this class, right? We have more than 30 people, so it would be very difficult for me to cover all of the things that you might enjoy particularly, right? It would be next to impossible. It would be next to impossible. But individually, this is a tip. This is a great thing to keep improving your English. For example, if you're interested, I don't know, in musical production, anything, follow channels about that, right? And listen to the language, learn about those things that you're interested in, have fun, and also on the side, you're gonna be learning a little bit of English, right? Okay, guys, let's continue with what we were studying yesterday. Have you heard Yesterday by the Beatles? We have some interesting noises today. Okay, where am I? Why doesn't this show? Let me just figure this out a second. For some reason, it's not showing me the screen that I need. Let me see where it is. Okay, there I have it. Okay, good. So let's continue now. And oh, something very robotic, like in science fiction, sounded in there, made a sound in there. Okay. So let's go to this screen now. I'm just going to silence this for a moment, just so that you can see the screen for a moment and that you can listen to the audios that we're going to have here, okay? All right. So let's take a look at some of the predictions that we had on the previous page, right? If we remember what we saw yesterday, well, we completed with the correct form of the futures, and as you probably remember, in many cases there was more than one possible option, right? There were more options than one. For example, sometime in the future, buildings will have green walls and roof gardens to help retain carbon dioxide. By the end of this century, half of the Amazon rainforest will be deforested or will have been deforested. Será deforestado o habrá sido deforestado, no? In 50 years, the world population will reach or will have reached, llegará a o habrá llegado a 9 billion, right? Remember how to say 9 billion in Spanish? If you want to speak, if you wish to speak, don't forget to turn on your microphone, okay? So, do you remember what is the meaning of 9 billion, or how do you say 9 billion in Spanish?
1,000 millones.
Yeah, exactly. Just that, exactly. Billion, mil millones. And 9 billion would be 9,000 millones, right? Okay. Very good, very good. Now, in the future, most of the population will live in cities or also will be living in cities, right? Simple or continuous would be correct in this case. Now, soon computers will become more intelligent than humans. Simple in this case, right? In less than 20 years, scientists will discover or will have discovered, probably that's the best one, a cure for cancer. Habrán descubierto una cura para el cáncer. But we will suffer from new diseases, pero sufriremos nuevas enfermedades, all right? So, yeah, here you have it with the answers. This is what we did yesterday, remember? So, what I'd like you to do is take a look at these predictions, think about them, and tell me if you agree with them or not, and tell me why. Okay, or give me an alternative. How do you think things will be like? All right. So let's think about it for a couple of minutes.
Hello.
Hello, Mateo.
Teacher, I have a question. I have problems when el will be, porque me confundo un poco con el verbo to be, así que estoy en eso. Más o menos, estoy confundido bastante ahí.
All right. Okay. So we'll just finish with this activity, and then I'll help you with that. Okay, Mateo?
Okay, thanks, teacher.
You're welcome. Okay, guys. So tell me, do you agree with the first one? Sometime in the future, buildings will have green walls and roof gardens to help retain carbon dioxide. Do you think this will happen? What do you think? What do you think, guys? What about the first one? What do you think? Do you think this is possible? It'll happen or not?
It is possible.
I believe it is possible as well, right? It's. Any other ideas about the first one? Why do you think it is possible?
Because in the cities, we don't have a space for a park or a garden, and probably we can, I don't know how to say, aprovechar.
Take
Both.
advantage of. Take advantage of.
Advantage of the buildings in the last floor. I don't know. It can help to us to have a better. I don't know what oxygen.
More oxygen. Oxygen.
Yes, that.
Very good. Thank you very much, Camila. Right?
Yes.
Very good, Camila. Thank you very much. And parenthesis here. Something Camila did was perfect. Like, for example, if she didn't know a word or maybe an expression, that didn't stop her from speaking, right? So whatever little piece of vocabulary or whatever that she doesn't know, she will ask. But she's saying everything else in English, so that's great, because sometimes this happens, right? Sometimes we are not sure about how to say one part of what we want to say, so we stay quiet. But no, what Camila did was great, and because anyway she's practicing and she's speaking English and she's learning a little bit more, right? Now she knows how to say aprovechar, take advantage of, and she knows how to say oxygen, right? More oxygen. So great, very good, Camila. Thank you. So the same with everybody. If you want to say something, say it as much as you can. And if there is a little part or something that you don't know how to say, well, say that part in Spanish or ask me, how do you say this? Or I don't know how to say that. And I'll help you with that, right? But yeah, that was great. So try to say it as much as you can in English. And if there is a little bit of information that you don't know how to say in English, say only that part in Spanish and we'll learn that part as well, okay? Very good. Yeah, does anybody want to say something else? Somebody else wanted to. I think Andres wanted to say something else.
Yes, teacher, I also this proposal.
Yeah. It's very possible, right? It's very. There is a good word. There is a good word for this. That is I'm gonna type it here on the screen, right? Likely. Can you see it? Likely. Let me use another color. Were you familiar with this word? For everybody, were you familiar with this word? Yes? No?
No.
No? Okay, well, you know, like, gustar, like, como también. For example, you are not like me, tú no eres como yo. Paris is not like London. París no es como Londres, ¿no es cierto? Paris is not like London, right? But also, if you say likely, esto es como decir probablemente. Likely. Likely, it's similar to, no tanto como, probablemente es más seguro todavía, pero se parecen bastante, probably. Probably and likely, they are very similar, okay? All right, good. Now, let's go into the next one. Let's go into the next one. By the end of this century, just a quick reminder, what is the meaning of century?
Siglo.
Siglo.
Exactly, that's right, very good. Just as a little piece of information, in Spanish we also have the word centuria, and centuria means siglo. También tenemos, ese es un sinónimo de siglo, solo que muy rara vez se le usa y poca gente le conoce, ¿no? Casi todo el mundo dice siglo, pero en inglés, century, very good, okay, very good. So, by the end of this century, how do you say these in Spanish? By the end of this century. By the end of this century. How do you say that in Spanish?
Para el final de este siglo.
Yes, excellent. Para el final de este siglo, para fin de siglo. Correct. Very good. So by the end of this century, half of the Amazon rainforest. What is the Amazon rainforest?
Brazil.
Well, it is in Brazil, yeah, but what is it? Sorry, I couldn't hear that. It was, try to. Exactly. Yes, perfect. Exactly. It's another word for the Amazon jungle. Para la selva amazónica. Selva jungle, como jungla, no? That's right, very good. However, rainforest is a little bit more of a technical term that is popular in English, right? El bosque lluvioso, en temas de topografía y geografía, y mejor dicho, geología y también biología y cosas, es un término que suele usarse, ¿no? El bosque lluvioso, the rainforest, pero es exactamente la selva. So you're right. La selva amazónica. Half of the Amazon rainforest will have been deforested. So, what do you think? What do you think about this one? Is this likely? Is this likely? Is it possible? Do you think this will happen or not?
Yes.
I think that not. I think it's not probable.
You don't think it's probable?
Yes.
Yeah, continue, Mateo. So what do you think?
I think that in actuality we have a lot of programs and laws for protect these parts of our world, and I think that we can do this because for 100 years some parts of the planet will be protected. I think is very important, these parts, that it's in part like impossible because countries have laws to protect the forest and protect patrimonial cultures and all that.
Okay, very good. Yeah, that's a good point. It's something really important for the world. So maybe governments and everything will produce laws to protect it, right? Okay, so that was very good, Mateo. Now, anybody else? Do you agree with Mateo, or does anybody have a different opinion?
Teacher, I think that this statement is possible because people keep building buildings to put their business or houses, and that is how the city grows.
Yeah, that's also a very good point, right? I mean, even though nature is really important for us, probably indispensable, but that doesn't keep the human being from still destroying it, right? So yeah, because we have very, very practical and direct needs as well, like for example, housing and everything, right? So yeah, and the population grows, you know about all these problems, right? So yeah, thank you very much, Daniela, right? So very good, Daniela. And also, you know, they were having some there are some big discussions about, especially like somebody said in Brazil, you know, the Amazon rainforest is getting destroyed also to make cattle farms. Are you familiar with this word, cattle? Let me type it here instead of, I'm going to put it over here. cattle. Do you know what is the meaning of cattle?
No.
No, this one is new. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, es el ganado en general, ¿no? Ganado no de ganar, sino, sí, claro, un conjunto de vacas o de otros animales. Por ejemplo, podemos tener, ustedes saben, ganado vacuno. That will be beef cattle. Podría ser ganado porcino, right? Like pigs, right? Pork, if you're speaking about food. We could have, ganado caprino, which would be goats and sheep and everything. So yeah, cattle is el ganado, right? In that sense. So yeah, you were very close. Good, cattle. So there are, in the rainforest, a lot of it is getting destroyed, to make cattle farms, granjas ganaderas, pues, no? Cattle farms, to produce especially meat and milk, but especially meat, right? So that is becoming a problem. That's what a lot of vegan people state and as an argument against the consumption of meat. But there are also many other arguments. It's a big discussion, right? It's a big discussion. But I think both points were very, very good. All right, now let's take a look at number 3. And what you said a moment ago, I think it was Daniela. This statement is possible. That was beautiful. Very well said. Very well said. Okay, now number 3. In 50 years, the world population will reach or will have reached 9 billion. Notice the difference. En 50 años, la población del mundo alcanzará los 9,000 millones o habrá alcanzado los 9,000 millones. Tanto en español como en inglés, ambas tienen sentido, ¿no? Ambas tienen mucha lógica, por eso el libro nos da como 2 opciones correctas, en este caso el simple y el perfecto, pues, ¿no es cierto? Y para este contexto, pues sí, cualquiera de los dos. Hay casos en los que sí se vuelve más particular y podría estar bien solo uno u otro, ¿no es cierto? Lo que sí casi nunca va a ser intercambiable es un continuo y un perfecto. O sea, muy rara vez en la misma frase nos va a calzar bien un continuo y un perfecto. Lo que sí nos calza bien a veces es un simple o un continuo, o también a veces un simple o un perfecto, ¿no? ¿Sí? Pero un simple con un continuo rara vez me va a servir las 2 opciones para lo mismo. Aunque podría pasar. But it's a lot less frequent, okay? It would be much stranger. Okay, so Having said that, what do you think about this one? In 50 years, the world population will reach or will have reached 9 billion people. Do you think this is possible? Do you think this is likely? What do you think? Come on, guys, what do you think? Remember to turn on your microphones if you want to speak, okay?
I think that's not possible.
Uh-huh. And why?
Because of this epidemic, a lot of people died, and I don't know.
That's a very interesting point. So what Adriana says is that, for example, this pandemic or other diseases might control the population growth in a way, right? So that's a very interesting point. What about the rest of you? That was very good, Adriana, right?
Yes.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Adriana, and very well said, by the way. Now, what about the rest of you? Do you agree with Adriana, or do you have a different opinion? Do you disagree with her?
I agree with Adriana.
You agree with Adriana? Okay. Yeah.
I think that not only for the pandemic, also I think the resources is going to be much more important in the future, because if we don't have very much resources, we can have much. I think that people can be have a, how to say this, have a good life, and not only for the pandemics, maybe wars. And I think that the people who is the people in the future is not care about have a family and all that. I think that people in the future is going to be more selfish. Like, I'm going to do my things. I'm going to study. I'm going to practice my profession for have all things that I would like have, and not more like I will have a family at home. I think in the future the people is going to be more selfish like that.
Could be. Yeah. Could be. Or at least a little bit more self-centered, right? So, yeah, that's an interesting point. Actually, what you're saying is something that is happening in Europe a lot. In a lot of European countries, you have more and more single people who have no children and everything, right? Also in Japan, that there is a tendency towards that. So we've had like a massive growth, especially in the 19th and 20th century, and probably it was due to the sanitary conditions, improvements in medicine, improvements in the abundance of food and things like that, right? So that has led to a big growth in the population that we have in humanity. But what Mateo says is a very interesting point. Probably it will settle down and also decrease, right? It's a possibility. It's a possibility. We don't know for sure. Who knows, right? Who knows what may happen? But yeah, it's a good point. It's a very good point. Mm-hmm.
It's like what happened with after the First and Second World War, like baby boomers. Like, we don't have enough after the war. They have enough resources to have children, to have a house, to have a family. But if they didn't have these resources, they want a family because it's more difficult to bring like education, medicines, all like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is true. That is true. However, also the thing is that, yeah, what you said a moment ago, it's usually the things that really determine the way we go are more selfish as well, right? So it is all going to depend, and everything is kind of selfish, right? Because having in a way, no, I'm not saying that it's fully the case, but in a way, having a family is also a little bit selfish, right? Because it is something that, mothers and people who want to become parents, it's also something that they want to do to feel fulfilled, para sentirse llenos, completos. So that happens sometimes as well, right? So, but yeah, if nowadays there is more of a tendency towards personal growth, more than there was like an imposition that in order to live a full life, you should become a parent. You should be a mother or a father. You should have children, because otherwise your life wouldn't be full. Or you need a partner. You need to be with somebody. So, and probably that is changing a little bit. So I think what Mateo says is very interesting. However, I insist, we don't know for sure. We don't know anything for sure. Like, for example, who knew about coronavirus until it happened, right? but to some degree, we can make some predictions, okay? Good. Now, let's take a look at the next one. In the future, most of the population will be living in cities or will live in cities. Here, again, a little parenthesis. Noten que en este caso, en cambio, en la anterior, les hablo un poquito en español, un trocito, como para desaturar, para que se les haga más fácil. Solo a veces es una buena herramienta para relajar un poco la mente y tener esto más receptivo. Pero lo voy a decir en inglés también, ¿no? Solo noten esto. Ya lo dije hace un momento. En la 3, pues tanto presente simple como presente perfecto me funcionaban, ¿sí? En 50 años la población del mundo alcanzará los 9.000 millones o habrá alcanzado los 9.000 millones, ¿sí? Tanto en inglés como en español, las dos funcionan. En este, en cambio, tanto el presente continuo, que es el primero que tenemos, will be living, como el presente simple me funcionan. En el futuro, la mayor parte de la población, la mayoría de la población, estará viviendo en ciudades o vivirá en ciudades. Noten que tanto en inglés como en español, para el caso, también las dos me funcionan. El presente perfecto en esta no me funcionaría bien, porque sería en el futuro la mayor parte de la población habrá vivido en ciudades, como que es algo que ya pasó. Pero no es tanto lo que queremos decir, ¿no es cierto? All right, so yeah, that is the thing. Sometimes, present simple or present perfect might be suitable, podrían ajustarse bien, right? And in some other cases, present simple again or present continuous might be suitable. And in some cases, you only have one option and no other, right? But that is the thing. Okay, good, good. Now, so what do you think about this one? Do you think this one is likely? Do you think it is possible? In the future, most of the population will live in cities. I'm going to ask somebody in particular this time, okay? I'm going to ask somebody. Let me see. Who do we have here in class today? Well, we have a lot of people in class today. Thank you for that. What about you, Jennifer? Jennifer, are you there?
Yes.
Okay, Jennifer, what do you think about number 4? What do you think about number 4? Do you think this one is likely to happen?
It is possible because society evolves and grows.
That's right. That's right. So yeah, exactly, and that sounded beautiful. Society evolves and grows. La sociedad evoluciona y crece. That was very good. That was very good. So yeah. So you think it is possible that more people and most of the population will live in cities, because how it is nowadays, it's interesting. What do you think about the United States, for example? In the United States, what do you think? Most of the population lives in cities or in the country? Remember that country means país, you know that, but also en el campo. Okay, country también es el campo. That's the reason why we call it country music, right? The country music es como la música campirana, como les decía, la versión gringa de las rancheras, si se quiere. Entonces, so country, país. So, what do you think? In the United States, do more people live in the country or in cities? What do you think? Do you know? It would seem so, right? It would seem so. Parecería que sí. It would seem so because, you know, it's the United States. We've always thought of it as a very, very industrial country and everything, and it is. And you have these massive metropolis, where you have these very large cities like New York, Los Angeles, San Francisco, Chicago, Detroit, massive cities, right? Very, very big cities. However, and this is curious, most of the population in the United States live in small towns in the country. You have lots and lots in all that massive country, in ese enorme país, you have lots and lots and lots of little towns and cities. Well, they are cities, some of them, but many of them, you would consider them rural areas. Las consideraríamos prácticamente áreas rurales. Y a pesar de que Nueva York tiene como 15 millones de personas, casi lo mismo que Ecuador, y cosas así, pero aún así la mayor parte de la población de Estados Unidos, most of the population in the United States lives in the country, which is interesting. But having said that, what Jennifer said is totally correct. Yeah, there are more and more cities around the world, and cities get bigger and bigger, right? Cities are also growing a lot. If you, I don't know, you might ask your parents, but ask them how was Cuenca in the 80s and in the 90s, and how is it now? Places like I don't know, for example, Baguanchi, and it was just an open field. It was a country area of the city, right? Era solo campo prácticamente. Now you have lots of houses and infrastructure and everything. And before that, it was even more like that. If you go back to the 50s, of course, I wasn't born in the 50s, but and Cuenca was divided in states. Era como dividido en quintas, en granjas, and there was a lot of green area around Cuenca. And just the downtown was urbanized. Prácticamente solo el centro de la ciudad era, solo el centro histórico era así de urbanizado, pues, ¿no? But anyway, it's so. I think what Jennifer says is correct. it might be like that. Does anybody disagree with Jennifer? Notice that agreeing and disagreeing doesn't mean to fight. Estar de acuerdo o en desacuerdo no significa que estemos peleando, ¿sí? Simplemente son distintos puntos de vista que todos valen, ¿no? Right, so does anybody disagree with Jennifer? Do you think most of the population will live in the country in the future? Or do you agree with Jennifer?
I agree, teacher, because most of the population live in the city because of the jobs and that things, but most of the people prefer to live in the countries because of the peace.
The peace and quiet, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's also a good point. That's also a good point. And it's difficult to know, right? Sometimes we go back and forth too. Sometimes along society and along history, there is a tendency towards one thing and then it drops and then it becomes something else. So yeah, who knows for sure? But yeah, those are very good points. Those are very good points. And this one is interesting. This one is fun. This one is fun. What is the meaning of fun? F-U-N. What is the meaning of fun?
Divertido.
Yeah.
Divertido.
Correct. So this one is fun. Number 5. Soon, computers will become more intelligent than humans. What do you think about this one? Any ideas about this one? Do you think that's likely to happen soon? What do you think?
I don't think so, because it is something controversial due to the humans make the computers, and it's something, I don't know, strange that something that we made is, I don't know what to say, superar.
Surpasses.
Surpass to the humans.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Computers can do the things more quickly, but humans can do the same.
Interesting point. Yeah, it's a good point. It's a good point. And this reminds me of something. And this is also something that I wanted to tell you. Well, back when I was 12, so a long time ago, back when I was 12, I remember in my sister's computer, she had a Mac, which were very advanced for the day. Especially back in those days, Mac computers were like the big thing, right? So my sister had a Mac because she's a graphic designer. And I remember I used to play with this game, but this game was a chat bot. It was a chat bot. And there are many more of those nowadays. You know, bot the chat que chateaba básicamente, right? It wasn't online, it didn't have internet, but it had like a database. So you could actually speak with the computer. So you would type questions and everything, and it would provide answers. And it was also a little bit like a psychoanalyst. And I remember I was in a fight with the bot, and I said something like, but humans can create computers, but computers can't create humans, right? And I thought that it wouldn't have an answer for that. But then it replied, do you say that because you're afraid of computers? So that was a pretty good answer. But yeah, so intelligent bot. but yeah, I mean, it's very difficult to know, at least in the state in which we are right now. I mean, artificial intelligence is growing for sure, but soon, who knows, right? So probably, yeah, probably Adrian is right. Who knows? Anyway, let's go to the next page. Let me just diminish this a moment. Sometimes it gets a little bit stuck. I suppose it's the internet. All right, but let's go into the next page. And let's do a little bit of listening now, all right? Let's do a little bit of listening. Okay, and it says, not in our lifetime. Not in our lifetime. So, what do you think is the meaning of this? Not in our lifetime. Sorry. I went from one page to the other. Just a second here. Oh, I don't know why it went so far away. Just a second, it's a little bit slow. Also, this interface is a little bit slow. So bear with me just for a second here, please. Bear with me. Okay. All right, there we go. So let me just make this a little bit bigger, but just a little because otherwise it goes crazy. All right, so listening, not in our lifetime. What do you think is the meaning of this? Not in our lifetime.
Como no en nuestra vida.
No en nuestra vida, ¿no es cierto?
No en toda nuestra vida.
Ajá, por ahí va, exactamente, es como, literalmente sería no en nuestro tiempo de vida, ¿no es cierto? Pero sí, en español sería un poco raro decirlo así, pero se comprende, ¿no? Es como, no mientras vivamos, quiere decir, o sea, posiblemente pase, pero para cuando
Algo así.
pase ya estaremos muertos, algo así, ¿no es cierto? Right? So not in our lifetime, not in our lifetime. Now, let's do this. Listen to people discuss changes that will affect these topics in the future, okay? Write down 2 changes for each topic. So what are the topics? We have number 1, crime, 2, space travel, 3, environment, 4, energy, and 5, money. Now, what is the meaning of number 3, environment?
Medio ambiente.
Medio ambiente.
Medio ambiente. Ajá, medio ambiente. Podría ser solo ambiente también en algunos contextos, pero con mucha frecuencia, por ejemplo, aquí es el medio ambiente. So that's right, very good. Okay, so those are the topics. Now, what are the future changes? You have to try and write 2, okay? So let's listen. Oh, I'm sorry. Before we continue, Mateo had a question. Sorry, Mateo. You were saying that you have some doubts with the B and that, right?
Yes.
Okay, let's tackle that for a moment because it might be something that you are a little bit confused about, but maybe not just you. Maybe more people also have this doubt. Okay, so let me just share this other screen for a second. Okay, so let's see. What is your precise the thing that you are most confused about, Mateo? Like, for example, if I say, I don't know, I will be doing exercise, a sentence like that, for example.
Yes.
Okay, well,
Yes,
the
yes.
thing is that since we have be, you know that be, ser o estar, ¿no es cierto? So, I will be sería como yo estaré, ¿sí? Yo estaré, ¿no es cierto? Y el doing pues sería haciendo, yo estaré haciendo ejercicio. Ahora, hay una diferencia entre yo estaré haciendo ejercicio y I will do exercise, ¿sí? Notemos lo siguiente, ¿qué sería esto? ¿No? Estaré, porque es be, ser o estar, pues, ¿no es cierto? Y como es con will, futuro, pues estaré. Y doing, con el ing, sabemos que el ing nos sirve para muchas cosas, ya lo habíamos visto en ese deber que les mandé y en el repaso que hicimos en las primeras clases y todo. Pero para el caso sí es el ando, endo, estaré haciendo, no hacienda. Me quiere corregir porque estaba en inglés lo de antes, ¿no? Estaré haciendo ejercicio. Y el de abajo es, en cambio, solamente, ¿cómo le traducirían al de abajo? I will do exercise.
Estaré
Haré,
haciendo ejercicio.
haré ejercicio.
Eso sería el de abajo, haré
Haré
ejercicio.
ejercicio.
Ajá, correcto, ¿no? El de arriba es estaré haciendo ejercicio, el de abajo es haré ejercicio. Ambos son para futuro, obviamente, ¿no? Por eso los dos tienen will. Pero notemos el uso, ¿cuál es la diferencia principal? Si yo digo haré ejercicio y si digo estaré haciendo ejercicio, ¿en cuál de los dos es más importante el hecho en sí? ¿Y en cuál de los dos es más importante el proceso, lo que va a estar pasando, la actividad? What do you say?
The first,
Yeah, in the first, it's more about the process, right? En el primero, this one, in this one, it is more about the process. Se trata más del proceso. Estaré haciendo ejercicio, pero por ejemplo, me preguntan, oye, ¿puedes irte a, no sé, ¿qué vas a hacer el jueves en la noche? ¿Dónde vas a estar el jueves a las 9 de la noche? Y yo les digo, oye, voy a estar haciendo ejercicio porque voy al gimnasio a esa hora, ¿sí? Entonces, más que el hecho de hacer ejercicio, más que el hecho en sí, el punto aquí se refiere a la actividad que va desde un punto hasta el siguiente, ¿no? En cambio, en haré ejercicio, esto se refiere más al hecho. This is more about the fact. Se refiere más al hecho. Haré ejercicio. ¿Cuál es la connotación en haré ejercicio? Pues a lo mejor haré ejercicio ¿para qué? Para mejorar mi salud, haré ejercicio para bajar de peso, haré ejercicio para ponerme en forma, ¿no es cierto? Por motivos de salud, por motivos estéticos, lo que sea, pues, ¿no es cierto? ¿Sí? Pero noten aquello, ¿no? Ahora, cuando sea eso, estaré haciendo, estaré comiendo, estaremos trabajando, la gente estará viviendo. En esos casos, Mateo suele usar el will be y el gerundio, ¿no? Ahora, podría haber un caso también, podría haber un caso en el que ponga will be y no ponga un gerundio, no ponga nada más. O sea, sea otro presente simple, digámoslo así. ¿Cuál sería ese caso? Por ejemplo, si yo en vez de poner otro verbo pongo un complemento, etcétera, que podría ser una preposición, un adjetivo, cualquier cosa. I will be, un sustantivo. I will be, un adjetivo podría ser también. I will be here. I will be here. What is the meaning of I will be here?
estaré aquí.
Estaré
Estaré aquí.
Exacto. Estaré aquí. Perfecto. Estaré aquí. Now, notice. This one would be present continuous, right? This one is, what kind of sentence is this? I'm sorry, not present, future. Future continuous.
future continuous.
Yes, that's right. Future continuous. Now, what about this one? What tense is this? What tense is this?
Future perfect.
Simple future.
Yeah, it would be, that's right. Future simple or simple future, correct. Uh-huh. Future, simple future también está bien dicho por si acaso, ¿sí? Lo que dijo su compañero está muy bien. Right, very good. Future simple. And what about this one? I will be here. What tense is this?
Future
Any idea? Future simple again. That's right, future simple. It is also future simple. También es futuro simple. Solo que es un futuro simple. Noten, el futuro simple podría tener cualquier verbo aquí. Y el futuro simple tiene generalmente solo un verbo, ¿no? Entonces, cualquier verbo, do, o también podría ser el verbo be, ¿no es cierto? También podría ser el verbo be. Pero en el futuro continuo, I'm sorry, I'm missing a you there. Yeah, continuous. That's correct. En el futuro continuo, in future continuous, I have a be, but I also have a verb in the gerund. Tengo el be porque igual es estaré, pero no es, por ejemplo, estaré aquí. O podría decir, pongamos otro en simple. Y I'm going to say, me voy a poner ultra trágico yo. In 2 years, I'll be dead. I'll be dead. ¿Qué significará eso? What is the meaning of that?
En 2 años.
2 años estaré muerto.
Yeah, that's right. I'm getting very, very grim in this case, right? En 2 años estaré muerto. That's right. So this is also future. No, what's that? This is also future simple, right? So I'll be El único verbo que tengo luego del will es el be, ¿no? Y después ya no es un verbo. Pero si después del be tengo un verbo con ing, esto lo hace continuo, ¿no es cierto? Todos los tiempos continuos siempre tienen un to be y un gerundio, ¿no es cierto? All the continuous tenses in English always have a form of be and a gerund. If it is present continuous, for example, I am doing exercise. Am is a form of be. Yo estoy haciendo ejercicio. If it is past continuous, I was doing exercise. Was is a form of be. Igual es una forma del ser o estar, pues no, yo estaba haciendo ejercicio. And if it is future, I will be. ¿No? Es futuro con el will, pero igual tiene una forma del be, que en este caso es la forma base, ¿no? Recuerden que siempre después de un modal, de un modal, will, would, could, should, might, may, must, I have to use a base form, okay? I have to use a verb in the infinitive, in the base form, okay? So I will be doing exercise. Pero la clave aquí es que will be es estaré, estaremos, estarán, dependiendo de cuál sea el sujeto, pues, ¿no es cierto? I will be es estaré. You will be, estarás. Y así, right? Mateo, no sé si esto ayuda un poco. I don't know if this helps a little bit, or do you still have a doubt?
Yes, teacher, but I have a little question about it. Me confundo un poquito en el momento de implementar, o sea, cómo saber si es que va con continuo y con simple. O sea, yo
correcto.
entiendo, sí, yo entendí, pero me confundo, por ejemplo, dice rellenar este espacio y yo me confundo y no sé, o sea, sé que puede ser cualquiera de los dos, pero me confundo en determinar cuál es.
Comprendo. Sí, bueno, precisamente el reto un poco es que en muchas circunstancias, cualquiera de los dos me iría bien. Si solamente, como veíamos ayer, pues no, si solo tengo un ejercicio de completar, ¿no? Por ejemplo, qué sé yo, pues ¿no? Sorry. Entonces, ¿cómo saber en ese caso si es que es el simple o el continuo? En este caso en particular, cualquiera de los dos me iría bien, ¿sí? I'll o I will, ¿no es cierto? I'll work in a different place in 2 years. This is correct. And what about the other option? I'll be working in a different place in 2 years, right? So this one is simple, right? And this one is continuous. And how do you say the two in Spanish? How do you say in Spanish, I'll work in a different place in 2 years?
Trabajaré
Yo trabajaré
en un lugar diferente en 2 años.
en 2
That's right.
años.
Very good. Very good. And how do you say this one in Spanish? I'll be working in a different place in 2 years.
Estaré trabajando en un
Trabajando
diferente lugar
en
en 2 años.
diferente en 2 años.
Exacto. Entonces, en este caso en particular, si ustedes solo tienen un ejercicio como este, cualquiera de los dos me iría bien. Y es por eso que, por ejemplo, en el ejercicio que hicimos del libro, muchas veces nos daba la doble opción, ¿no? Si no tengo más contexto, cualquiera de los dos me iría bien. Pero si en cambio el contexto es un poco más preciso o es más específico con lo que quiero decir. Por ejemplo, pongamos esto. If you En este caso en particular, ¿cuál creen que me iría mejor? ¿El simple o el continuo? What do you think works best in this case?
Continuo.
Continuo.
Yes, that's right. Exactly.
Continuo.
Obviously.
Correct. If you call me 3 in the morning, I'll be sleeping. Si me llamas a las 3 de la mañana, voy a estar durmiendo. Entonces, mejor no me llames a esa hora, ¿no es cierto?
Voy a
La otra opción sería, si me llamas a las 3 de la mañana, dormiré. Bueno, tal vez en algún caso podría ser. Tal vez en el caso de que me aburra tanto lo que tengas que decir que me voy a dormir. O tal vez en el caso de que, no sé, voy a estar muy intranquilo si no me llamas, pero ya, si me llamas a las 3, pues ya dormiré. Tal vez en esos casos, pero no sería lo más típico, pues, ¿no es cierto? Sí. En este caso, lo que primero se me viene a la mente sería el continuo. Si me llamas a las 3 de la mañana, voy a estar durmiendo. Y lo que importa no es tanto el acto de dormir, sino el hecho de que voy a estar haciéndolo. ¿Sí? Entonces aquí se implicaría, mejor no me llames a esa hora porque voy a estar durmiendo, pues, ¿no es cierto? No te voy a poder contestar. O, en su defecto, me vas a hacer despertar y eso no me va a gustar. So, do you get it? But I know it's a little bit tricky. I know it's a little bit tricky in some cases, right? I know, for example, as I said, in this example, both are correct. In this example, both would be correct. In this example here, there is one that fits best. En este ejemplo de aquí, sí hay uno que funciona mejor, ¿no es cierto? Right?
For the context.
Yes, the context, exactly. Let's do one more. Let's do one more. For example, let me see. If I get the afternoon, the day off. The day off, do you understand this? A day off? What is a day off?
Un día de
descanso. Un día libre, correcto. If I get the day off, o sea, si me dan el día libre en el trabajo, por ejemplo. If I get the day off, aquí, ¿qué les suena mejor, el simple o el continuo? What sounds better in this case for you? Simple or continuous?
Continuo.
Simple.
Ajá, a little bit tricky, right? A little bit tricky, poquito difícil, but I would choose this one. I would choose this one. If I get the day off, sorry, what was that? If I get the day off,
I think
yeah. Right, it's a little bit tricky. Yo me iría por el simple en este caso. I'll help you. Perdón, me faltó también aquí algo importante. Sí, me faltó ese you y eso también podía confundirles más todavía. Disculpen. Lo tuve en mente, pero no lo escribí, disculpen. So, véanle una vez más. If I get the day off, you study for your exam, right? If I get the day off, I'll help you study for your exam. Yo diría que esto sería lo que mejor calza en este caso. ¿Por qué? Si me dan el día libre, te ayudaré a estudiar para tu examen, ¿no? O te voy a ayudar a estudiar. Más que el hecho de que vamos a estar estudiando para el caso, importa el hecho de que te voy a ayudar, ¿sí? Entonces, sí, yo sé que a veces es un poquito complicado. Con mucha frecuencia, tanto el simple como el continuo me pueden funcionar, ¿sí? A veces también tanto el simple como el perfecto me pueden funcionar. Lo que sí les digo, prácticamente nunca me funcionan el continuo y el perfecto en la misma frase, ¿sí?
Okay.
So that is basically the thing.
Así que en el continuo se basa más en lo que estoy haciendo y en el simple se basa más en lo que haré.
Exactamente, exactamente. Correcto, correcto. Exacto, el simple sí, tiene más énfasis en el hecho del acto en sí, ¿no es cierto? voy a estudiar francés. Lo que importa es el hecho de que al estudiar francés lo voy a aprender, es el estudiar en general lo que más cuenta, ¿no? I'll study French. En cambio, si digo I'll be studying French, voy a estar estudiando francés, importa más el proceso, ¿no? Importa más el proceso. Voy a estar estudiando francés, por ende no voy a poder ir a la fiesta, por ejemplo, ¿sí? En cambio, si digo estudiaré francés, por ende aprenderé francés. Es esa la idea un poco. Y es tanto en inglés como en español es así, pero sí, no siempre es tan fácil pensarlo, o por más que en español ya lo uso muy interiorizadamente, pero a pesar de que en español lo uso, no siempre es tan fácil traducir, digamos, eso al inglés o tenerlo rápido en mi cabeza en inglés, pues, ¿no? La traducción es una buena herramienta de aprendizaje, pero eventualmente lo que quisiéramos es ya no traducir en la cabeza, sino pensar directamente en inglés. Yo sé, pero eso es un poco más difícil hecho que dicho, pues, ¿no es cierto? But basically, yeah, this is the thing. This is the thing. All right, guys. So for tomorrow, you're gonna have some activities from the campus, from the virtual campus, and I'll assign them. Assign them now. Okay.
Okay, teacher.
Teacher.
Okay, teacher.
Goodbye, everybody. Thank you for your attention. Goodbye, everybody.
Teacher.
Thank you, teacher.
You're welcome.
Thank you,
tomorrow.
teacher. Bye.
Thanks a lot.
Goodbye, everybody. Thank you for your attention. See you tomorrow. Goodbye.